Mr. Walil Archer, and I be Son of Sam, your commentator. Yeah, it's the Real Rap Radio Show. Everybody put your hands up and get down. With your host, Mr. Walil, and you know we run the flow. 215, you know we run the town. Yeah, other radio stations, they just better fall back, cause you know we got the crown. Real Rap Radio, we got the crown. Yeah, Real Rap, 215, you know we got the crown. What? Real Rap, yeah, they run the town. Walil, yeah, he got the crown. 215, he hold it down. Yeah, told me to cook it up, I told him that I got it now. You should never change it down. Real Rap, cause it's going down. Hottest in the tri-state, guess you know it now. Followed by Downtown Hott Radio. Blazing you, other stations know they gotta pay. They doing visit to the game, so I'm giving you the real rap. Tune in on hot tracks. Told you once, just is going down. With your host, Mr. Walil, and you know we got it now. And he hold it down. I am Son of Sam, and they know I got the crown, and I hold it down. Real rap, yeah, they got it now. Real rap, yes, it's going down. Yeah, real rap.
We live on Downtown Hott Radio. I'm your host, Walil Archer, with the Real Rap Radio Show. I'm a special guest on the line. Hey, Chris, how are you today?
Doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. Let the listeners know all we're going to talk about today.
All right, so today we're going to talk about a cryptocurrency that's something brand new, something that's not currently out there, and it's going to be a branch off of Bitcoin, which is the very first cryptocurrency that was ever created.
Nice. Now, for anyone that may not be familiar with Bitcoin or anything, can we go into a little background and maybe share some more?
Yes, we can. So Bitcoin is what we consider the granddaddy of cryptocurrency. It was the very first currency of any type that was made utilizing blockchain technology. So blockchain basically is what hospitals can use for medical records, and it's an impenetrable system that effectively means people cannot add to the chain or cannot add information without all of the different people accepting the info. So nobody can add false information and it be passed on as legitimate. So it's kind of hacker proof, and it's something that people can't just break into and manipulate. So there was an anonymous person or group of people in 2009 that took that technology where you can't add anything without everybody agreeing to it, and turned it into a currency that was worth, at the time, just pennies. But today, if you look, is worth over $10,000 per one Bitcoin. So this all started in 2009 after in the U.S. we experienced the housing market crash, which was just really the beginning of the financial crises that we've experienced and one that we're currently in today.
Gotcha. Now, we hear so much about it, at least I know I do, but I don't know where to start, what research. If you go on the internet, there's so much information out there, and it's a little bit overwhelming. What would be the basics that you would start to tell someone and educate them on it?
So the very beginning, if you want to learn about cryptocurrency, you have to understand blockchain. So the very first step is going to be, what is blockchain technology, or how does blockchain technology work? And really just get a basic understanding for how it's going to work in a digital realm where you have it involved with a currency. So whenever we talk about just a cryptocurrency, to understand that, for the very most part, and this is a very general statement, a cryptocurrency is going to be used by a company or an app or some kind of utility. It could be a website, a gambling website. It could be one where you have something specifically developed for you to send money to a relative across the world with hardly any time in between transactions. It could be a huge spectrum of utilities that could be used, but the cryptocurrency itself is going to be what powers each one of those programs or each one of those websites, because they don't want to get involved with what we call a fiat currency or a paper currency, because again, you can't exactly rely on it at all times. Now, crypto is not going to take the US dollar or the yen or the euro out of the picture, for example, but it is going to provide competition to those currencies by providing something else, providing another way somebody can pay for a specific service. So the second part of what you'll want to understand is, what is cryptocurrency? And you'll have to look into specific projects. And the very first project, again, which is the basic, started in 2009, is going to be Bitcoin. And as soon as you can start to really get a very basic grasp to how blockchain works, which was the first part of that, then cryptocurrency is not so difficult to understand. It's just kind of a foreign topic because it's hard to fathom a currency that's digital that doesn't have a physical paper or metal form. And that's exactly what we've always been used to with every currency that we're familiar with today.
Well understood. Well understood. So with blockchain, where should they start? Just what ideas would you give them, or what steps should they take just to get a better understanding of blockchain?
I mean, a lot of people, like what you say, use Google just to start. So whenever you go on there, you want to look for basic understandings for blockchain technology. One of the things that I have personally done is tried to make a video on YouTube to really what I call an idiot's guide, because there's not much out there for people like me who's not a professional by any means in cryptocurrency. I'm just an enthusiast. So I started the same as what a lot of listeners are going to, not understanding exactly what it is, but I've heard of this, but I don't have any idea for what it is. So just like everybody else, I had to start from square one, but I could not find any specific video that was easy enough for me to understand on a level that I was comfortable with, that I could plug into real world, situations. So I've actually made one that if you go on to YouTube and just search blockchain technology simplified, you will find some very good examples that will pull up like an audio and visual type learning experience for people to kind of see how it works. And then if you're wanting more of a text-based operation, you can go on to Google. There's a lot of commendable and respectable websites that have some good explanations that might be a little more technical for people that are really more versed in computer literacy. That might be a way for them to go. But if you're like me and you like the videos, I tried to make a video that was more entertaining because I'm about entertainment. So I go for videos. Videos is pretty much what I learn everything off of.
And what made you take so much interest in it?
To be very honest with you, I stopped and took a look around into our country, and I've noticed that with the coronavirus taking such a massive hit to not only the national economy, but there's not a local community in our country that has not been affected in some extent, if not for 2, 3, 4 months hard and solid. And I think everybody has been set back to a huge extent with that. The main tipping point for me is just here recently, when a lot of people were waiting for the $1,200 stimulus check. We all know how long that took for everybody to get it. But if we had a cryptocurrency, for example, that the government had and was involved in, which the U.S. government is now currently talking about, making a U.S. dollar-backed cryptocurrency, which isn't currently there yet, as well as many other major governments, we would be able to have things instantly. We would be able to send and receive and have funds in our accounts almost instantly, within 5-10 minutes at the longest for the most part, whereas most people waited months. And that's something that I consider to be unacceptable. So I really started to get involved in investing cryptocurrency. I did some small long-term investing, started really studying different projects, learning how they operated, learning how they had different functions, different securities, and different means for how they really benefited the person using it. And at that point, I realized that there was such a leap in the digital realm that people haven't really understood, because I don't think I don't think the largest sum of the country understands what cryptocurrency is, or isn't even heard about it for that matter. But I think that whenever they understand that the traditional dollar, whether you're using a debit card or a credit card or an online transaction, that those transactions are no longer secure or reliable because of different things we've seen, including coronavirus or different major data breaches before that. The cryptocurrency, once you discover what all is capable with it, with somebody that knows how to design and develop, it's endless. The protection that can be provided for people using it is phenomenal compared to the means that we currently have in mainstream operation now.
Nice. Now, you mentioned investment short-term and long-term, so you can actually do investments with it?
Yes, you can. So it's a very volatile currency. If you were to invest in the stock market, for the most part, unless you see a major announcement one way or the other, you're not going to see a huge drop. With cryptocurrency, however, daily, the price can go up 10, 20, 30, 40%. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that, you're going to be making a profit, and that's not necessarily advice, because I haven't per se made a profit. But you can definitely see the benefits to it. And we'll take Bitcoin, for example. It is probably the biggest example, I would say, in a company in general, but even though it's not a company, it's just a currency, as far as a profit. So when it was first released, almost any coin is going to be worth a penny to 10 cents per share or per coin, or however you want to look at it in that sense. So Bitcoin, as I said now, today is worth over $10,000 per coin. So let's say in 2010, you hypothetically bought Bitcoin, however many you wanted, for 25 cents a piece. That investment today, depending on how many coins you bought then, would be worth over $10,000 a piece instead of 25 cents a piece. So cryptocurrency definitely has untapped potential for usage and for application everywhere. So I firmly believe that, it is going to be another investment opportunity that not only is untapped, but is something that we can see in a huge array, from wins, losses, and everything in between. From something to go from pennies to over $10,000 worth per piece, that's more than precious metals. I mean, that's something that's almost unfathomable. So it's definitely something that does hold the possibility of having advancement in the future. So I think that it's the way to go for a portion of your investment. And most people who are folks who give investment advice, they say you don't want to put more than 10% of your total portfolio into cryptocurrency, because it's a very volatile thing, and you can have super big wins in some cases, but at the snap of a finger, in the announcement of the coronavirus, for example, the cryptocurrency market took a hit the same as NASDAQ and everything else all across the world. So it's not something bulletproof when it comes to being resistant to fluctuations, but again, it is something that has an endless potential of application. So it's something that can be applied and value be upheld through different means depending on what the market's involved with.
Good information. So we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the bank versus cryptocurrency. Sounds good?
Yep, yes, sir.
All right. So we'll be right back on Downtown Hott Radio.
I like diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining, I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? Signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to the Tula, I put rocks all in my watch. I like texts from my exes when they want a second chance. I like proving wrong, I do what they say I can't. They call me Cardi, banging body, spicy mommy, hot tamale, hotter than a Somali. Virgo, Ferrari, hop up the stoop, jump in the coupe, big dip on top of the roof, flexing them as hard as I can, eating halal, driving a lamb. So that bitch, I'm sorry though, got my coins like Mario. Yeah, they call me Cardi B, I run like cardio. I'm in district in the chain, certified, you know I'm gang. Drop the top and blow the brand. Oh, he's so handsome, what's his name? I need the dollars to just beat it up like pinata. Tell the job to close the curtains. That chick make you nervous.
Chambean pero no jalan. Tú compras todas las Jolambo, a mí me las regalan. I spend in the club, what you have in the bank. This is the new religion bank, the Latino gang. Yeah.
I'm in district in the chain. Certified, you know I'm gang. Drop the top and blow the brand. Oh, he's so handsome, what's his name? I need the
Celia Cruz tengo el azúcar. Tú que va medio y se fue de pecho como Ginny Luca. Te vamos a tumbar la peluca y arranca, que a ti no te va a pasar la boca. I said I like it like that.
I said I like it like that.
I said I like it like that.
I said I like it like that. I'm in district in the chain. Certified, you know I'm gang. Drop the top and blow the brand. Oh, he's so handsome, what's his name? I need the dollars to just beat it up like piñata. Tell the driver close the curtains. Bad chick make you nervous.
Hi, this is Arthur Demetria Bowie from Rayville, Louisiana, and you are now listening to the Real Rap Radio Show with Walil Archer.
Hey, I'm back on Downtown Hott Radio. This is your host, Walil Archer, on Downtown Hott Radio. I still have my special guest on the line, Chris, and we're talking about cryptocurrency. I want to ask you, Chris, what are your thoughts on the coin shortage now?
So I think that this is something that's going to always be an issue when we deal with paper money. There's only going to be so much in circulation, and whenever they continue to print more and more, and to meet the demand of whatever the markets are at the time, at some point inflation is going to take over, and you're not going to be able to match up with the overall demand. The more that you print, the less it's worth. It's going to continue to cause issues throughout the market, and I think that that's what we're in the middle of with the recovery this time for COVID-19. I think that's why people aren't able for a lot of times to use coin, because they're trying to, as they say, save it, because I think they've not made coins to the amount of what the demand has been for the people, but they have been printing the paper to that extent. So we have an abundance of paper in our system right now.
Yeah, I wanted to know, how does that affect? Because I know they have to keep printing, and they printing more probably than we should have in circulation. So I'm wondering how do they keep track of that? But with the cryptocurrency, go ahead.
Oh, with the cryptocurrency, how it works is basically it is designed into the system. So whereas with paper money that's controlled by the federal government, and that's going to be for any country, they have the power to say, yes, we need to print more. No, we don't need to print more. And they can really manipulate how much it's going to be worth, which is never a good thing. Whereas with a cryptocurrency, you actually, for the most part, do not have to worry about inflation, because it can be programmed within the currency's what they call protocol, which is the way it operates and the way it's supposed to function, is they can stop it from producing more than a set amount, whereas no federal government, for the most part, is going to have a set amount of currency that they can make. So you always do have the risk of an international pandemic striking and every government turning on the machines and kicking out money when there's nothing else to back it on, and you have to worry about spending, $3 or $4 for a loaf of bread instead of it just being $1, a couple months ago, just as a spontaneous example. But when it comes to a cryptocurrency, what you would spend today would be the same as what it would be worth later, if not less, because there's only going to be a certain amount in circulation. But in paper money, we don't have that luxury.
And during the break, we was talking about the difference where the bank, they keep almost a ledger of all your transaction, and with cryptocurrency, they don't. So if you want to elaborate on that.
Yes. So there are some cryptocurrencies that can give you that privacy. So if you deal with your daily bank, they are going to send you a transaction list or account activity is what a lot of them like to call it. And that's not a bad thing if you want to keep track of something, or if there was a discrepancy or an issue or a dispute. However, if you want to have that privacy, let's say you want to online gamble, let's say you want to buy something for your significant other, or let's say you want to donate money to an organization anonymously, let's say you want to have some kind of hormone therapy, hormone treatment, let's say you want to have a surgery in a country that may not be in the light, may not be a positive thing that your country looks at. There's a numerous array of things that people may not want anybody to know what they're spending money on. With cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency, it has the ability to make all that information anonymous to where people can't see, which is where our project Spectrecoin comes in. But your average bank, you will never have that luxury, because everything that you do through an ATM, a credit card, it's all always going to be documented and will always be visible. And some transactions may even be reported as suspicious enough.
Gotcha. And let's talk about your product. The thing I like is it's fraud proof. Let's talk more about how it can't be manipulated like a credit card versus your product.
Okay, so with Spectrecoin, or Specter, it is an anonymous, secure function, or a coin. It's going to be a coin, a function, a protocol. It's a brand new blockchain, so everything about this coin is going to be basically revolutionary and new. We do have two, what we consider granddaddy cryptocurrencies that we have inspired us. The first one being Bitcoin. So Bitcoin uses the SHA-256 algorithm, which basically is an anonymous password generator, which a lot of different websites and apps use today. So that's going to be what it actually encrypts its transactions with. So it is almost safe to say it's hack-proof. There has not been a full brute force attack that has successfully shut down Bitcoin because it's still running. So it's safe to say that it is secure. We also have another cryptocurrency we're going off called Monero. And what Monero does is it creates an encrypted key transaction method, so that all the details of how much money you're sending, who you're sending it to, what time and date the money was sent, and the address that you're sending the money to all gets scrambled and encrypted, so that people cannot detail what it is that happened. So we took both of those different methods, combined them into one thing, and it's all functioned based off of volunteer people who will download a program on their computer, potentially on their phone, and run it themselves. So the difference between a crypto and a bank, when we're not talking about privacy, is one bank controls thousands and thousands of people, whereas thousands and thousands of people control one cryptocurrency. So nobody can manipulate, shut down, stop, halt, anything else. But if a bank decides that there's going to be a virus in the system, they can shut down the banking system for however many days, and you will have zero access to your ATM, to your funds, to transfers, to anything else. And that's the risk that you run. But whenever you're decentralized, which is what cryptocurrency is, the people control that. So as long as those computers are turned on and they have the program running to verify the transactions, that's going to act as the bank. So it's going to be much more secure than just a handful of people. It's going to be hundreds of thousands, potentially, of people that are running a network instead of just one bank.
Okay, so say someone's listening and they want to get started. How would they get started with you?
Okay, so if they're wanting to learn more about us, they can go to spectercoin.com. It's SPECTERCOIN.com. On there, we will have a full detailed list of all of the things that we're working on. It'll have a video that's 16 minutes that I've made that's basically just audio explaining our project more in detail. And it also has some links that people can start if they want to go ahead and donate. So if you were to donate to this project, we have to raise a total amount of $28,000 United States dollars. Once we do that, we will be able to pay a team of developers to actually start the process to make our vision of the private crypto reality. So when people do donate, you are going to be basically prepaying for that cryptocurrency. And once it gets developed, each dollar that is paid is going to be worth 25 coins. So for people that donate, they are going to be able to receive a perk because they're going to get coins at a super low rate. And we do anticipate that once this project does get developed and does take off, that it's definitely going to be worth more than that. And we expect it to hold a very high value in the future.
Nice, nice. And anything else you would like them to know?
At this point, if you're just going to get involved in cryptocurrency, keep an open mind to our project. It's cryptocurrency. I don't think is something that's overutilized yet. I think it's something that's still in the beginnings. I like to compare it to the internet. Everybody remembers dial-up. and everybody knows where we're at now. In 2009, when Bitcoin created, that was the cryptocurrency dial-up, and I think that we're just on the foundations of jumping into the future. So I encourage everybody listening just to keep an open mind to cryptocurrency, do a little bit of research, and always check out our products, check out our project, and also get a hold of me at any point off of the website. We do have contact information if you have any other questions.
Sounds good. Any closing thoughts?
Or say, closing thoughts, I don't have any really for the project. I just hope that everybody has a blessed day, and I thank you guys so much for your time and attention to our project, and I feel very welcome and very happy that you guys gave me the time to explain what Specter is all about.
My pleasure. Well, hold on for 1 second. We're going to go to a break. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to Downtown Hott Radio. This is your boy, Walil Archer. That's my time. See you guys next time on the Real Rap Radio Show.
Just like that, we out. Still your commentator, the host, Mr. Walil Archer. Never hesitate to call up, man. 610-70 Radio. Check them out at www.downtownhottradio.com.
Downtown Radio, hip-hop show taking over every code. From Philly to Orlando, no, we do it for the peoples in the bando. It's the Downtown Radio, hip-hop show taking over every code. From Philly to Orlando, no, we do it for my peoples in the bando. Let's start it off like we the hottest in the tri-state. Don't be confused, these others, they know the rules. It's more than an abuse, these youngsters is dropping juice. While Lil got it locked, y'all sleeping, y'all still on snooze. Wake up, thank you for tuning in. We tryna pick up, break up these dividends. From Jersey to Philly, no, we get it in. ATL to Orlando, thanks for listening. Yeah, downtown, hip-hop radio. We never letting go, no. Downtown, hip-hop radio. They know we run the show, Say downtown, hip-hop radio. We never letting go, no. Downtown, hip-hop radio. They know we run the show, Downtown radio, hip-hop show taking over every code. From Philly to Orlando, we do it for the peoples in the bando. It's the Downtown radio, hip-hop show taking over every code. From Philly to Orlando, we do it for my peoples in the bando.